South Africa. Anyone who's ever been there will have noticed the thousands of kilometers of fencing that cut across the land. Usually designed to contain the cattle, fences have a devastating effect on the environment. They are not only a deadly trap for the wildlife, they also prevent livestock from roaming around freely, which leads to overgrazing and land degradation. Some herders are now reversing this trend, and they are spearheading an ecological revolution.
When herders lead their livestock onto the Great Plains of the Karoo in central South Africa, the animals aren't allowed to linger. To protect the vegetation from overgrazing, they have to be kept on the move. As a result, they can only eat the tips of the plants. Head shepherd Dixon Ncube has years of experience and has seen how the landscape has changed since he's been grazing his animals here.
At first, the land had some more bare patches and the grass growth was not that much, but now since we have started this process of heading, we find that no, there is a bit now change. Even on grazing areas, the grass is more growth are shooting up.
The herders are part of the Shepherding Back Biodiversity project. It supports commercial livestock keeping while boosting land restoration on this 24,000-hectare farm. The Karoo was once much greener and home to millions of antelope and buffalo. Their hooves loosened the topsoil, while their droppings fertilized it. In a bid to recreate the great migrations of the past, the project employs shepherds to lead livestock over the plains. Bool Smuts is the project leader. He's confident that herders can help revive the whole region.
Because we fundamentally believe that this method of farming gives space for wildlife to coexist with production agriculture. So that's really the simple vision, is to find a mechanism by which we can foster biodiversity on production farms.
The thousands of kilometers of fences needed for intensive livestock agriculture are one of the main reasons why wildlife has disappeared. Fences prevent the animals from roaming free as they search for grazing land and water. They often end up tangled in barbed wire. In order to study the effects of the fenceless farming method on the environment, ecologists are monitoring the project. Over the past 2 years, head researcher Jeanine McManus and a group of students have recorded the number of plant species in selected study sites. In addition, the group evaluates the Earth Vegetation Index. The index is determined by the amount of green seen on the ground by satellites and allows researchers to compare plant growth in different regions over time.
And you can already start picking up changes in trends within where the herd has been grazing, especially over a longer resting period in parts of the farm. And the green index shows up quite pronounced. And we compared it to traditional farms where it isn't quite as pronounced. And there seems to be quite a significant color. And it's just looking at the pixels alone, you know, and taking the green out of pixelization. But from that alone, you can already start seeing a difference.
There are many positive signs. Areas that have been grazed by the herds are now seeing thicker plant growth. Slowly, wild animals are returning to the farm. More than 500 antelope have been counted, and even a leopard was recently sighted. A major success for Dixon Ncube, especially since South Africa is still recovering from one of the worst droughts in recorded history.
I wish this process continues for the rest of the life, so that there won't be any damage to the land, so that even the neighbors in other countries can be more inspired about what they are seeing in this dry Karoo.
The project could inspire neighbouring farmers. Many of them saw their land degrade and lost livestock due to the severe drought. For the shepherds, however, this year's lambing season turned out to be very successful, adding another 1,800 sheep to the herd. Slowly but surely, the project is turning profitable.